the post 2 days ago. If you don't see the post, you can go back where I posted. I asked you if I were to go live, what topic would you want me to talk about? Okay, the first post there said, I would like you to talk about the causes of failure in buildings and the possible solutions. And again, the challenges engineers are most likely to face. Oh, this question is much. This is like 3 in 1, but let me be answering them one after the other. Okay, I would like you to talk about the causes of failures in building. This is a very broad topic in construction industry. I know this question was prone by the recent collapse that happened in Gwarimpa in Abuja. So the causes of building collapse is enormous. And the issue of building collapse is not novel to us, especially we that are in the field of construction. Building collapse has been happening as far back as 70s, and is not only in the country, all over the world. Then what are the causes? So for the fact that it's happening, does it mean that we can't know the causes and provide the possible solution? I think that is what this person wants to know. Okay, the causes of building collapse. There are so many essays on causes of building collapse. If you type in Google, what are the causes of building collapse, you will see so many literatures about causes of building collapse. But I am going to answer the question based on my own experience, and knowledge in the industry. Okay, one of the causes of building collapse, according to this, one of the causes of building collapse, I believe, is negligence. Negligence from the client, also negligent from the professionals. So let me talk about one, negligence from the client. We were all aware of the collapse that happened in Lagos somewhere around last year, where even the client himself died during the project. So if you go through the case to the end, if you go through the case, if you are the type that were interested in that case, you will find out that at a point the structural engineer, that is the experts on the construction, actually put out when the client was interfering with the construction processes. So most clients don't give the professionals the privilege to execute their job. So, and once a client starts to interfere with professional works, any professional work, error must comes up, and the error will come in different form. And in building, it can lead to collapse. Like a building that was meant to be just a floor building, the client, just because he or she has money, will tell you that add another floor. If you as a professional, you say it's not possible, he say, what do you mean by it's not possible? I have seen this case somewhere. He was quoting references for you, and because he has the money, he wants you to do it. So if you are a professional without integrity, like in the cases of that Lagos, the professional involved is a person with integrity, and he put out of the project. But if you are a professional without integrity, you continue. And despite the professional put out, the client adamantly continued the project, and the building collapsed. So there are so many negligence from the clients that due to interference that normally cause building collapse. Like, take for instance, most of us, when we do structural drawing for clients that are not even structural engineers, they will be the first to tell you, why will you use Y16, this Morton? Can't you change it to Y12? If you are not a professional, you will heed to the advice of that client. Because negligence, I term it negligence because me being a professional in the field, he's supposed to listen to my own advice, but he will not listen to you. Why are you using Y12? Why are you using Y16 instead of Y12? This thing will stand. All this, so all this interference from the client out of negligence, out of let me say lack of respect for professional principles, can actually lead to building collapse. And we all know when building collapse, lives normally goes out of it. Like this one that happened in Gwarimpa a few days ago. I think like either 20 or 5 people were injured and some lost their life. So that is it. Then negligence from I can't call them professionals, from let me say superintendent, people that execute on sites. There are so many people, we all know, we are in the industry, that they lack the quality mindset in terms of execution. And once you lack this the quality mindsets, a lot of things will happen. Like, take for instance, you are a site supervisor. You cast a concrete, for example, and there are honeycomb everywhere. Out of negligence, you carry mortar, you patch the honeycomb, thinking that nothing will happen. So you're supposed to know that these buildings were designed by a professional, and you have to execute according to design. So when you neglect some certain details, it can lead to building collapse. Then let's talk about corruption. Corruption is also another cause of building collapse. Corruption in the sense that this is rampant, this is common. A design can come, put Y16 here. A big contractor, instead of Y16, he will cut corners. Okay, let me use the common language, cutting corners during construction. What is being specified, use 1:2:4, because you want to make a lot of money. You will reduce the mix so that the materials you are going to consume will be less, just because you want to cut corners to make little amount of money. So such type of attitude also lead to building collapse, cutting corner, which I termed corruption. So when you cut corners, the repercussion, it can lead to building collapse. And if you go through a lot of literatures, forensic investigation of most building collapse, you will see that uses of substandard material. Some people use of substandard material. Why will you use substandard material when in a design it has been specified use this also type of material for A, B, C, D? Then because you want to make money, you want to maximize your profit at the detriment of the lives of others, you did not use material that are specified, you cut corner. So that one is another causes of building collapse. Then lack of proper supervision, especially in this era. If you before, like one day my boss that taught me structural design, I met him designing the office. I said, sir, why are you reducing? I actually met him designing solid slab. The spacing of the solid slab, the design specify spacing of 300. He actually reduced the spacing to 200. I said, sir, why are you reducing the spacing since the design is 300? He said, my brother, if you know what people are doing on site, in fact, you won't advise me to reduce it more. I said, oh, but it will be more expensive for the client. I said, he told me one word. He said, but the client's life will be safe, which is true, because these days professionals doesn't actually put eye on what is actually happening during construction. Sorry, okay, sorry for that. So when you are supervising a project and you are not giving the proper attention, building is just like a baby. If you have a baby, the way you wean, you breastfeed, that is how just like the building construction is. If you are a supervisor in a project and all what you are after is to cut the money, how much? 1.5. You collect 1.2. You live there. You are left there and be staying at one corner. What the laborers are doing, you don't even know. Lack of proper supervision. So at the end of the day, it can lead to building collapse. The other ones, how do I put this one? I think it's just like cutting corners. Also, there are some processes before you embark on construction, like for example, conducting soil test, proper design. These are preliminary preparation towards a building. So because you don't want to pay people, soil test you will not do. You tell the engineer, assume soil bearing capacity and use it to design for me. Then remember that soil is unpredictable, especially if you are if you are an experienced engineer. You're supposed to know that this soil is unpredictable. You can have soil of strong strata here, when you go to the other place, you will see another weak strata. So you cannot use this entirely to judge the other one. So this cutting of protocols too also contributes to collapse. Then I think my boss is adding something there. He said regulation on production, which is fine. Truly, it's true. Right now, let me put this one under lack of proper monitoring. The Standard Organization of Nigeria supposed to be monitoring the production in the country, but sorry to say, I don't know how. It's like they fail in one of their primary responsibilities. If you, especially in reinforcement, iron, let me call it iron so that we all understand it. Iron are of different diameter. You have Y8, Y10, Y12, Y16. We have different gauge of iron, but you find out that what you buy in the market for as Y16, when you measure it, it becomes Y12. And if you are the type that doesn't measure, thinking that this iron, even if you go to literature, all research are being done on concrete because we believe that concrete are being produced on site. But iron, we assume that is coming from the factory, that it has been monitored by government and being controlled by standard organization. But at the end of the day, it doesn't meet up specifications. That's what my boss is contributing there. So this is also another factor that can lead to beauty collapse. In fact, one of the highest factors, because this reinforcement they are to have a certain strength, and if the strength doesn't reach what you design for, my brother, something will happen. Then I think I have talked about let's put that this government on, let's put on that use of substandard materials. It's not only iron, cement too. Some cements are up to substandard. I had experience 2 years ago. We bought cement and we used that cement to cast a particular slab. At the end of the day, if you hit the slab, it will be sounding boom, 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 like biscuit ball. So we had to conduct a lot of tests and do a lot of things on site to rectify that. So there are so many substandard materials that people use either deliberately or unknowingly. Like I said, as a practitioner, you have to have little equipment on site where you can ascertain the quality of what you are using in your building construction. So what are the other okay, let's say let me add this one. Like in case of Abuja, the regulatory bodies that are supposed to be regulating constructions, corruption don't kill them finish. If you can cast they come there, what they do, eye service, they want to collect money from you, and at the end of the day, that will pass by. So all those things can also cause collapse too. So failure, let me term that one as failure in responsibility. There are government officials that are being paid to be monitoring all construction in an environment. They are to control. Aside the engineer that is working on the site, there are some government people that are being by responsibility mandated to be checking what all constructions are doing. Most of them are not checking. In fact, most of them don't even know what you are doing. Their own is just to come, collect your money and go. So this is also a contributing factor. And again, lack of use of inexperienced personnel. In these days, you don't know who is engineer, who is not an engineer. If you start today, you are going to site regularly. People that doesn't know who engineer is, they started calling you engineer. If somebody that doesn't know that you are not an engineer, you give you job. Instead of you to tell the person you are not an engineer, you collect the work of an engineer too and started executing. You lack the knowledge that is needed to give a quality product, but because you want to eat money, inexperienced personnel, you collect somebody's job. At the end of the day, you don't know left from right. You are just doing what you saw people do, but you don't know that every building is unique. I can erect a building that has the same external features, but the internal structures will be different because every building is unique. The soil conditions you met this one and the other one are not the same. So you see someone do it here doesn't guarantee that you can do it and it will stand. This is another problem we are facing. So let me not dwell much in there because there are a lot of questions that are dropped for me. So she asks again that the possible solution. So possible solution is that we should all take responsibilities. Like as I've said, the negligence. Clients should allow professionals to do their job. If you give somebody a job, allow the person to do it. Listen to expert advice. Don't interfere. If somebody tell you it's not possible, know that it's not possible. As a professional, heed to professional advice. In fact, one of the mindset we have to develop is to respect professionals. A financial person cannot tell me something about finance and I will start arguing because he is a professional in that. So you just have to listen and heed to professional advice. So the negligence, clients should allow professionals to do their job. And experts, if you call yourself expert, especially engineers that have something to lose, if anything, if building collapse, you should man up. If you are a woman up. Don't cut corners. Protect your integrity. Deliver quality projects. Then we also talk about regulation agencies. Regulation agencies should stand up to their own responsibilities. Let Standard Organization of Nigeria, let them initiate proper monitoring of these construction materials that are being sold in the market. They should not put a deaf ear or collect bribe and turn their back, because the more the building collapse, it speaks a lot about the competence of our country, both national and internationally. So SON should rise up to monitor the production of the materials that are being used in the construction industry. Then all regulation agencies, especially the ones that are to monitor building construction, they should look beyond collecting money from the site superintendent. They should ensure that they do the proper check of what people are building. Then I also advise that a proper planning of any building should be done. All protocols should be followed. Engage a professional person, professional, because a professional has something to lose. That is the difference between professional and non-professional. As I'm sitting down here, I cannot allow you to rubbish my profession or to allow my license to be withdrawn. So if you give me a job, I will make sure that it is done to specification. Because one, if anything happens to the building, I can lose my profession, my license, and it will damage my reputation. So I don't want that to happen to me. So with that, I have a professional mindset. So we should try to engage professionals that they don't only look at the profit of a particular project. They look at the reputations that come with it. Then we should shun away from using inexperienced people, and also lack of poor supervision. As I earlier said, if you are a supervisor of any project, pay attention to it. That is what you are being paid for. Pay attention. Don't engage laborer and be sitting down somewhere. Before you come, the error has been done and you don't even know. So make sure that you give the building you are supervising a proper attention, proper supervision. I think that is the solution I prefer to that. Then she ended the question by saying that what are the challenges engineers are most likely to face in the construction? There are so many challenges engineers will face in the field of construction. There are so many challenges. I don't know at what level you are asking the question from, but let me say this. In the field of construction, engineers can face unemployment because the competition is high. There are so many non-engineers that are building engineers out there. They will collect your job. So this is a challenge. What I will tell you in this case is that go for the knowledge, learn, develop yourself. At a point, your work will stand you out. When you deliver one quality project, it can give you 20. So stand out. It's one of the challenges. Then another challenge engineers will face is government regulations. So study the government regulations and know how to use them. One responsibility of a good citizen is to know the law and know how to use the law. So know the challenges, the government regulations that might come, then and see how you are going to hover around them.